Assalamualaikum everybody, Jazakallah khairan, especially the youngsters and the elders, mashallah, respected elders, ulama, Quran, brothers, and those who are watching online as well. First of all, thank you very much for attending today, inshallah. Dr. Professor Dr. Gatrad, who many of the elders will know was very instrumental in the building of this masjid, alhamdulillah, may Allah reward him and reward all of the elders who sadly passed away now and moved on, but may Allah reward him for the righteous reward for the efforts of really sitting here in this masjid today. Dr. Sami is very well known, not just in the West Midlands these days, well known in the world with his project, which is the World Against Single-Use Plastics. And today, Dr. Sami is going to speak about about his program, which will give us some guidance on this. Looks like a future.
Thank you very much. I'll take my mask off now so you can see me and you can hear me well. Okay. So Assalamu alaikum and Salam Bhai, thank you very much for that introduction. May I first of all thank you for inviting me. I think that's crucial because not only have I not been here for a long time, so it is good to see a lot of friends here, but also to see the children that have actually grown since I last saw them. To start with, what I will do is talk to you about COVID a little bit. And you know something? You might not know this, but COVID is related to climate change. And at the moment, you've got COP26. Heard of COP26? Yeah? And if children, if they haven't heard of COP26, somebody should tell them. This is your future. Okay? So COP26 is something that's happening in Glasgow, where they're talking about the future of our planet. Okay? Now, you know, our religion teaches us that we have got to be clean. We have wuzu every time we pray. Okay? That's cleanliness. So what I'm going to talk to you about is about cleanliness, to keep our planet, our amanat, our home clean of litter. You know, your parents keep your house clean. That's your house. The world is our house. And our religion tells us you keep your body clean. So why can't we keep our amanat, our world clean? So that COP26 is very important. But interesting, I hope the ventilation is open here because I think it's important to open those doors and please get the ventilation. Now, the reason I mention this is that a lot of people talk about COVID and they talk about the injections you had and they talk about the masks and they talk about washing your hands and they talk about keeping a distance. You see somebody came to shake my hands just now? I didn't shake hands with him. This was bad. I felt that. Okay? But I think the important thing is, right, that you've got to be alert. You've got to be alert all the time. Now, whatever the government says about masks, I think we should wear masks in the mosque. The reason being, we are very close to each other. Every day there are 42,000 people that get infected every day. And the more that get infected, the more that we lose their life. Now we know very well that my very good friend, Neru Parekada, passed away because of COVID. Okay? So we don't want any of our family, because we are all family, to lose any of you. So do wuzu from home. Keep ventilation going. Yeah, put your mask on. And also, you must. There's one place where the government is right, and that is you must have your jabs. I have had all my 3 jabs, alhamdulillah, I'm fine. Now, you know, some people say, oh, it hurts, and you get a fever and all that. Did you know, and this is for the parents, that a baby that's born, that gets jabbed at 6 weeks, does the baby complain? No. What do? You take the baby to the center, and they get jabs. Do you know how many viruses that get stuck in the 7? Yeah? So when your baby goes there to have a jab at 6 weeks, it's having 7 things. COVID is just one of them that we are being given. And everybody says, oh, this is going to happen, this is going to happen. One thing is going to happen is, until COVID actually goes away from here, and you're going to be part of this, and it is part of climate change and also sustaining our world, and I'll tell you where the connection we won't be safe. We won't be able to travel. We won't be able to pray well. We won't be able to hug each other. Because hugging to me in Islam is a very important part of our friendship. So we won't be able to do that. So it's important for us to wear masks. So all I'm saying is whoever is listening, people that are actually in the power of this particular building, they should think seriously, whatever the government says, yeah, keep distances. And I've been so proud of this mosque that when the pandemic was up there, you took out all the stocks that you had to try and get things right, to try and make sure, right, that our community was safe. Not only our community is safe, but all the other communities are safe as well. So we want to keep our town safe. We want to keep our country safe. And importantly, we want to keep the whole world safe. Because you can't go to India or Pakistan because of this problem. There's a big issue there. They have not been organized. The reason I talk about COVID is because there's a connection of COVID to all I'm going to talk to you about just now. So as you all know, I'm a pediatrician. I look after children. And I look after children who are sick. And at the moment, we've got a lot of children who are sick because they have not had their jabs yet. So the important thing is that we can have the jabs given as and when. So go and have your jabs done as and when you get called in. So I'm a pediatrician. I'm concerned about the children of today, but I'm also concerned about the children of tomorrow. That's why I've come here to give you this talk. So I'm going to talk to you about planetary health, okay? And I'm also going to talk to you about plastic tide, because there's a connection between plastic and also connection between plastic and us, and plastic and also the climate change. So, okay. So before I actually talk about plastics, because the world of single-use plastic, which is what Sulaiman Bhai introduced me as, I set up WASSUP, which is World Against Single-Use Plastic. I think WASSUP is a very easy thing to talk about. Tell you from there that keep your zone apart, keep yourself apart. Yeah? So this is important. This is our home. Hindus, Muslims, Christians, yeah, they've got their own homes. But together planet is our home. Okay, so don't forget that. So we don't contaminate our planet. So for the little boys, I'm going to tell you a little story. So why is that all this fuss? Okay? The fuss is because loads of people are throwing stuff here, there, and everywhere. Okay? And here is me. I have actually picked that lot up from the canal, just in Birch Hills, within an hour. Yeah? And who's put it over there? I haven't put it out, I picked it up. It's our people from here in Warsaw. So you see people throwing rubbish, you stop them. And your parents are doing it, you teach them. So that's so important that we should be doing this. So why is it that plastic is so important? Plastic is important to us because a lot of things that we make are made from plastic. So I haven't got a problem with plastic that is actually in the windows or in the aeroplane or whatever. What I'm concerned about is single-use plastic, which is packaging, which means it's bottles, okay, it's flat plastic bags. You go down a shop on this road, okay, there's one shop particularly, they just throw a couple of bags to you, yeah? Every time you buy one tomato, you get 2 bags thrown. Yeah? Now that is not on. Because whilst I've been talking to you for the last 10 minutes, yeah, 10 million bags around the world have actually been thrown away. So what's going to happen to the animals? Yeah, these turtles are done. They're created by Allah's own power. Okay? Fish are done. You know something? 2 billion people. And you know, billion means 9 zeros. So I'm talking about 2 billion. Yeah? Around the world, every day, eat fish. Okay? Fish are dying. Fish is good protein for you. Fish makes you strong. Fish makes you fight infection because it's got protein. So a lot of people around the world are affected. You see, we are okay here because we are blindfolded to what's going on around the world. What's happening in Sri Lanka? Maldives is actually sinking. People are starving because there's less fish. And for other reasons that I'll give you shortly. This bird here has got all sorts of stuff in it. Yeah? Plastics, rubbish. Birds flying around the water, they see something shimmering. That shimmering bit is plastic. So they pick it up as a mother would, mother bird, and takes it to its little chicks. And it takes it out of its mouth. And that plastic, those chicks are going to eat. And they're going to die. Because their stomachs will be full. They can't digest it. So can you imagine the plastic they throw away is killing animals. It's killing marine animals. When the fish eat all this, who do you think is the fish? Yeah. Who is the fish? We. So we are going to get fish as well. So how do we get plastic? We get plastic from the fish. Because inside the fish are little tiny pieces that you can't actually see, called microplastic. The micro means tiny pieces. And these microplastics, yeah, take hundreds of years to disappear. Plastic was first produced a couple of hundred years ago. Okay? If it takes thousands of years to disappear, the first plastic that was produced is still in this world. It's never gone. It's just being circulated. Yeah? Because fish is eating it, and if some other big fish eats this fish, then we are eating the fish. The water we drink has actually got plastic in it. Yeah? The tea bags that you got, tea bags are sealed with properly. That's plastic. Now you wouldn't know this. Perhaps you ought to change to coffee. Okay? So there's a lot of plastic. Christmas paper has got plastic in it. Glitter has got plastic in it. Toothpaste has got plastic in it. Loads of these things contain plastic, but we don't know. Yeah? So what does it do? Plastic, when it gets into your body, we know it has got into our bodies. Every one of us has got plastic in it because we are eating and drinking plastic. It's there. We are just throwing it away. Goes into the ocean, goes into the animals, and we eat the animals and the fish. So it's there. So what does it do to you? In this climate of COVID, where there's a lot of infection, it affects your immune system, which means you can't fight the infection, which is bad. What else does it do to you? Okay, it can actually go from a mother to the baby. It can actually give you cancers as well. And what's more is some mothers may not have babies at all. So you say, well, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, give us a baby. But, you know, you've actually asked for it. You've been throwing your plastic away for the previous 100 years. So now that we know what the dangers of plastic are, I think we should educate ourselves. And I think myself, my parents, my friends and relatives should be ashamed that we were not aware that plastic is so dangerous to us. So I'm talking to you children so that you can educate your parents to make sure that they deal with plastic in the way I'm going to tell you in a few minutes. So, if you go into the oceans, you know, the stuff that you throw away, 90% of it goes to the oceans in the end. And do you know in the Pacific Ocean, there is a garbage place that is bigger than Australia. Can you imagine? Just all the rubbish we are throwing is getting together in the oceans. And there are 5 of these. So there are 5 places as big as Australia in the sea that have actually got plastic rubbish, bags, bottles, sandals, spectacles, all these things. Because we just throw them away. We don't think. So what we're going to do, I'll tell you in a few minutes, I'm just telling you the danger. So what I've done is I've produced a book, which a lot of your schools will have. It's called Story of 3 Bottles that I've written. And it's given free to all your schools. You'll have it in the library. Should anyone want to buy it, we can give you that. That's Kayasam has got a few copies. Now, anybody that buys this book, what we do is we give the money back to whoever buys it. So you guys want some litter picks, we will buy some litter picks for you. Okay. So these are not for profit, they are actually put back into the circulation to ensure that people go on and buy litter picks and then go and pick litter up. Now I gave a talk about, I don't know, 2 years ago here upstairs, and a lot of youngsters said, oh, you're going to join me litter picking. But not a single youngster has joined me in litter picking. So I'm hoping that today you will get your act together and talk to people and join WASSUP, and we ourselves can go. I can come with you on a Sunday with 8 or 10 children. We're going to clear up park just next to us in Fleck. I'm happy to do that. So, what happens to a bottle that we throw away? 3 things can happen to it. Okay, so let's tell you the story that's in this book. So first of all, the bottle that's thrown away just outside here. It's picked up, put into a dustbin or whatever, and it's taken to a landfill. Landfill is a huge hole in the ground where all the rubbish, television, all the rubbish that comes from all your houses goes there. And it remains there for years and years and years, because plastic is going to be there for hundreds of years. So it remains there. So when it remains there, the rain comes down. And the rain comes down, and slowly, over many, many years, that plastic leaches, and it creates poison. So that poison from the plastic that you throw away gets into the earth. So it's killing all the animals that are going to eat the plants that are growing in that area. That poison is also going to go into the rivers. So eventually it's going to reach the ocean. And in the ocean, that poison is going to poison the animals. It's going to poison the plants. And plants, actually, you know what the plants do? If you were in a school, I would have asked you this question. Plants take on the carbon dioxide. Okay? And carbon dioxide is our problem. That's what this COP26 is about. So that the world stops producing carbon dioxide. Because there's too much of it as a result of burning coal and burning oil. So the first one, can you see the animals dying at the end? Okay. So what about the second bottle? Just a second bottle, somebody threw it into the water, into the canal. So it goes through, yeah, it floats away, eventually gets into a river, and then it gets into the ocean. So eventually it just gets into the water anyway. So it will get into the Pacific Ocean, the Atlantic Ocean, or all these other oceans. So what's going to happen to this bottle now, or the bottle that I threw away the first time around? Okay. Wow, look at that. Fish are eating the microplastics, and bigger fish are eating the smaller fish. Okay, and this young man here, now he is eating salmon, which has got plastic, and he doesn't know it's there, and he's going to harm him. Okay, he's going to grow up with this plastic. So the third bottle is happier. And why is it happier? The third bottle that I'm going to throw away? I'm going to throw it away into a recycling bin. Okay? So when it goes to a recycling bin, the people pick it up, take it to a factory, and make it into some beautiful things. Okay? So you can recycle the plastic. So one message is, you look at a green bin or whatever, you put a recycle bin. Put your rubbish in there. Okay, so at the moment what's happening to our world is being eaten up by plastic. This particular one was made by, this mural was made by a Blackwood school. We had a competition, and I think some of the older brothers may have been part of this. You know, there was Dells and Poultry School, and a lot of schools were involved in this competition. And Blackwood School won the prize for creating this mural, which I think is very meaningful. Our Earth being eaten up by the plastic type. So now I'm going to turn a little bit towards climate change and the gases I was talking to you about. Now, when plastic is produced, it produces gases, carbon dioxide, methane. So I'm going to talk about carbon dioxide and methane as the two main gases. Is there something funny? Are you okay? I'm talking to you. If it's funny, tell me about it, yeah? Okay, good. So this is a very important subject, so I want you to concentrate, okay? Yeah, because I haven't come here just to waste my time. Okay, so when you get oil and gas produced by anything, which could be your motor car, all of these things produce gas. So plastics, when they're made, they produce gas. So if I said to you that our Earth is round, you know that, okay? But it needs these gases, because these gases are important. They are called greenhouse gases. Have you heard of greenhouse gases? No. But now you know. Okay, greenhouse gases, a little bit of it is okay, because we've got, if I can show you, and just suppose there's one sweater around this Earth, you need that sweater to keep the Earth warm. Otherwise, it will be freezing. There'll be ice. So we need it. But what's happening is we produce so much of these gases that instead of being one sweater, the Earth has actually got 7 sweaters. So the Earth is getting warm. The Earth is getting hot. And from 200 years ago, the Earth is hotter by 1.2 degrees. And that 1.2 degrees is seriously bad for our Earth already. Because I'll tell you what's happening. The temperatures are going up. Okay, the first chart shows you that the temperature went up, 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 up. 2020 last year was the hottest year ever for this planet. 2020. That picture there is of Germany this year in July. Germany had the hottest year, 37 degrees was the highest temperature. We've got, and I'll just pick that one from the world, just at the end, if you look at this brown picture here. This one here. That's the water temperature. So water temperature is going up as well. If we, actually, I've got a pointer. If I showed you that pink line there, pink line is what will happen if we have all the gases being produced as they are. So by the end of the century, which is only about 90 years from now, this earth will be completely gone. We won't have a civilization. Okay. All the islands will be abandoned. So we need to keep down here to make sure that we behave ourselves and we make sure that we exist. We make sure the earth exists for you and your children. That's what this COP26 is all about. This is what's happening around the world as we speak. Because we are sitting here in Warsaw, we go to madrasas and go to school and go to play cricket. We don't know what's happening around the world. People, because of this 1.2 degree increase in temperature, we have got droughts. A place called Madagascar, people are actually dying because there's drought. There's no food. You must have seen fires on television. Have you seen fires on television? California, Alaska. A lot of places are because of the earth getting hot. So when you have fires for forests, then the forests disappear. So you get what's known as deforestation. Or some people actually break trees more and more, especially in the Amazon, which they shouldn't. So what happens is, if you take trees away, which gas do trees take away from the atmosphere? Sorry? Which one? Carbon dioxide, you said, didn't you? That's right, carbon dioxide. Yeah? Okay. So carbon dioxide is taken away. Now, I'll tell you where the connection with pandemics is, because COVID is a pandemic. In other words, it's all around the world, is the infection. Okay? So, if all the trees are broken up, where are these animals going to go? These animals will come closer to human beings. Human beings are starving because the plant's gone, because you've actually got floods. You've seen lots of floods on the television. That's as a result of climate change. Cumbria, for example, in the UK, has had lots of floods. In fact, quite a son and I were involved a couple of years ago, and we sent a team over there to clean up Cumbria. Okay? In fact, the Sikh people were the first people to go to Cumbria. Okay? So, places are burning, we've got droughts, we've got floods. Now, the interesting thing is this: if places get warmer and warmer, we will have diseases that occur in warm places. For example, in India, you get malaria. In Africa, you get malaria. So us as doctors, we will have to learn about malaria in this country. I know about malaria anyway because I worked in Africa. But the doctors that work in this country will come to find out more about these diseases. And if they don't understand those diseases, then you people won't get better because they'll make the wrong diagnosis. Okay? So you ask the gentleman to please quieten down. So it's important for us to make sure yeah, that we put pressure on our government, and this is where the adults come in. You vote for those people who have got green credentials to make sure that they go into parliament, they go into council to make sure that they have green credentials. They try and save the planet by ensuring that there is recycling, by ensuring that the trees are not broken down, by ensuring that the green spaces that are around Warsaw, for example, are actually maintained. Because green spaces are important. They take away our carbon dioxide. And what's important about green spaces is that particularly elderly people, including myself, we can go to these green places and make us feel better. We have a walk. You know, it gives us mental sukoon. We feel better when we go into these places. Okay? And even coming to the mosque for namaz, it's better, even religiously, it's better to come by foot so that you don't use the cars to come and clog this place up. And what hurts me most is when I come here and park my car in that place there, right? I'm almost always blocked in. Yeah? Because everybody thinks, you know, I'm late, so just stick the car out. So all the other guys are stuck in. Why bring the car anyway? Take a walk. Eat, so you can't make our roti as much. Okay? There's soil erosion because all the floods have taken away our fertile soil. The trees are broken down, and the trees keep our earth in place. They make sure our plants don't disappear. If those things don't happen, then people around the world are going to starve. And if they starve, what will they do? They'll fight for food. Okay, if there's no food in that country, what are they going to do? They're going to go to another country. Okay? So they'll become refugees. Okay? So, where do the gases come from? Now I'm going to talk about two gases. One is methane, and the other one is actually carbon dioxide. Carbon dioxide is actually, most of it is carbon dioxide. But although methane is less, it is 80 times more powerful than carbon dioxide. Okay? As you can see from this picture here, carbon dioxide is 80%. But methane, although it's 10%, it's actually 80 times more powerful. So it's a thick sweater. Okay? So carbon dioxide can have 5 sweaters, and you just have 1 sweater of methane, and that's equivalent. Okay? So this will make you laugh a little bit, boys. Okay? Because these cows, when they pass wind, yeah, okay, that's methane. When they burp, that's methane. Huh? That's interesting. That's something you didn't know. Yeah? So those gases, there are millions of cows in the world. So when they do that, the methane goes up. So the research that we are doing, this is for the older people, is that we try to give something to the cows so that they don't produce methane. So that's the present research that's taking place. Can you see that these things here, all that stuff that goes into your chest, all those fumes go into your chest? There'll be a few people suffer from asthma here, yeah? Few people with asthma. So if it's bad outside, foggy, you live near the motorway, what's going to happen to you? You're going to get a bad chest. Yeah? And that's because all these fossil fuels are being burned. It's all these cars that are producing carbon dioxide. Okay? All these things can happen as a result of just air pollution. Because in the air, you can't see it, but we breathe bad air. In India, I mean, you will know, it's not right, that they actually get, they burn wood, they burn coal, they make their own food inside the house with children playing around. And what do those children do? They're breathing all this horrible stuff. And they become poorly. We become poorly if we breathe all this stuff. Now, just say, for example, if you've got a younger brother or somebody in a buggy, yeah, and your mum is crossing the road, and there's a car here, there's a car behind here. What do you think the baby's breathing? Straight from the exhaust of the car? Carbon dioxide, carbon monoxide, nitrogen dioxide. All those things the babies are breathing. We don't even think about it. But that stuff that you're breathing in can actually affect our brain. It can affect our heart. It can affect our pancreas, so we get more diabetes. Okay? It can affect newborn babies. All these things that are breathing are as a result of climate change, which is caused by all these gases. So these gases are creating big problems. So boys and girls, those are not here, but all boys that are here and girls that are listening, yeah, you need to make a big noise in your schools with your council. Write letters to your MPs or whatever. Because you've got 100,000 people today in Glasgow with placards everywhere, okay, telling the world, listen to us, this is our future. Because there is no planet B for us. Yeah, we've just got one planet and we've got to look after it. So, who's going to do something about it? It's got to be not me, it's got to be us. Every single one of us has got to do something to try. Either we can do it individually, or we can do it collectively, or we can do it through council, or we can do it through governments, or we can do it through countries. This is what they're doing in COP26. That 100 and something countries, I think it's 190 countries that are meeting in Glasgow to try and sort out your future. Yeah, I think we are not going to be here that long. So I'm not going to be here in year 2000. But some of you may. Okay, so that's affecting you. So you should know about this. So what are we doing? What am I doing? Okay, so what I'm doing is talking about at least the plastic thing, because plastic is creating 4% of these gases. Okay, so we talk to you like I'm talking to you today, and we also pick up the litter from all over, and we tell the big Tesco or whatever, I write to them, we talk to them to say, do not send plastic to our houses. I think if you get anything from Amazon, they wrap things up in about 10 bits of plastic, which is totally and utterly not necessary. And I don't know whether you have seen it. Has anybody heard this song in the school? Yeah? WASSUP song? Yeah? Yeah. So all the schools in Warsaw have got a WASSUP song, because 3 schools got together and they created this song. So all the schools in Warsaw have got the WASSUP song. So if you haven't heard the WASSUP song in your school, I don't think the head teachers are doing what they should be doing, which is telling you about your future. So we've got all communities, Hindus, Muslims, Sikhs, as you can see over there, and black communities. They are all coming out with us. But which community is the least with me? Tell me. Which community is least with me? Hindus are coming out with me. Sikhs are coming out with me. But the Muslims are the least. Okay? There is an Ahmadiyya group of ladies that come up. So these ladies here, oh, there they are, Muslim women. Yeah, they're not from this mosque or from Greta Street. They're Ahmadiyya Mosque, which is another mosque that comes out. So they come out with us to do litter cleaning. And as you can see, they don't show their faces, which is fine. As long as they clean up the environment and make it as clean as we can. Again, coming back to cleanliness is what we want to do. So we've got WASSUP in so many countries. I already told you about it: India, Pakistan, Malawi, and everywhere else. We've got it in Ghana. We've got it in Sierra Leone. Okay. In fact, can you see in Sierra Leone, we've got those books. In Ghana, we've got those books. Okay. So we have to change our behavior. So what we do with our classes, okay, So all the opticians, and I think there's an optician on Black Road that gives us these to other stuff. So we send all these plastic glasses which are very difficult to recycle. We collect them at Maya with the International Aid Trust, and we send them to Kashmir, Pakistan, and various other places, so that people can use this free of charge. You don't need an optician then. You take 1,000 glasses, and everybody's passing by and says, "Ah, ठीक है, चलेगा." Yeah, they don't have to go through to an optician. They just, get it done in themselves, because it costs to go and see an optician. So here we are. You see, we collect them in Destra, and I'm in Kashmir here, there, and then over there. The cataract patients that were operated on things are ones. So, Manor Hospital, all the plastic cups they've got mugs. And I actually gave a lot of mugs to this hospital to be used, so this mosque to be used during Ramadan. So hopefully you still got them. Yeah, instead of using plastic bags, you could use paper bags. We use that in pharmacy. So we can have, you see, I don't have a bin next to my office. Bin's gone. I've got to walk and put rubbish into those bins. So the A, it gives me exercise. B, it reminds me that I've got to put it in the right bin. Again, coming back to Ramzan time, what we want to do is we want to remove plastic from here. I've talked about this many, many times before, that I think we need to remove plastic plates, we need to remove plastic cups, we need to replace them by reusable plastic. Okay? It could be tin plates like the one that I showed you there, which we can use quite happily, and we can take care of using them for 25 Ramzans to come, rather than buying plastic plates all the time. So a lot of things you can do. A lot of schools have stopped using mayonnaise and these sort of things that people have, like the sachets. Okay, so they are now using these big things which are decanted into small reusable plastic bowls. So a lot of practical things that you can do. Tea bags, I've already told you, you could change from tea bag to something else. We can decrease our flying. Yeah? People just go up and down, particularly not from this community. So there are people who go on holiday 5 times a year. Yeah? So all this aeroplane flying, a lot of carbon dioxide going straight into the atmosphere and creating this sweater, the greenhouse gases. Decrease amount of driving. For us here, come to the mosque, walk. If you want to go to Rutter Street, don't go by car, walk. Okay, if you want to go to our office, which is Midland International Trust office, walk to Virtue Street. Okay, so the other interesting thing is eating vegetables is healthier than eating meat. Meat, I've already told you, creates more methane. Yeah? Eating vegetables is better. So in fact, think about it. Decrease the amount of meat we eat, because meat creates a lot of carbon dioxide. Okay? Now in school, they'll be telling you about growing trees. You should grow trees. And now our Queen has said that she wants 1 million trees for her platinum jubilee next year. So she would want us to plant 1 tree in her memory. And interestingly, a lot of the clothes that we have, and I don't think there's a problem with us here in this community, we can reuse our clothes, give them to our brothers rather than throwing them away. So there's a lot of advantages you can have just by decreasing fossil fuels. You can have, by exercising, you make yourself better, okay. Less air pollution because you're using less gases, less cars. Okay. If you can afford an electric car, so much the better. And I'm not saying you're going to do that. So a lot of advantages of actually going green. So what we have to remember as human beings, yeah, is that we are not the masters of the planet. Okay? If we were masters, we are not looking after the planet as masters. We are part of nature. We depend on nature. We depend on trees. We depend on animals. They depend on us. So we can never be masters. So we have always got to look at the world as interdependent. And that's what our religion teaches us as well. So, as I'm in the mosque, I thought I'll tell you something that the Moranas may know more about. I'm no Islamic scholar or expert. One thing I can tell you is that I give talks all around the world on this issue. And when it comes to Islamic point of view, I show them 3 verses from the Quran and the Hadith. Okay. The first verse, I'll just tell you the bit that matters to me. It says, there is no altering God's creation. What are we doing to this earth? We are altering His creation. His creation is ocean. It's got a lot of carbon dioxide in it. It's got a lot of oil spilling in it. The earth, we've actually plundered the earth. Yeah? This is His creation. He's not saying don't do it, but don't plunder it. Corruption has appeared in the land and the sea by what the hands of humankind has done. So we have created this problem. And the third one says, importantly, that Allah has made you stewards, which means you have to look after. And are we looking after? No. So if you look at religiously speaking, there are 3 verses. Yeah, you could come to madrasa every day and learn the Quran and become Hafiz or whatever. Okay? But you have to learn the meaning of what you are learning. And I don't know much about it. I'm not Hafiz. Yeah. And I don't understand the Quran, honestly. I can read it, alhamdulillah. But when it comes to something like this, it hurts me. Because that is what we should be teaching people. Because this is our world. We need to protect it. So why are we doing this? Okay, now if you guys are joining me, you're going to have your pictures in there with me. That's what if you're allowed to have your pictures. But you see, can you see the whites and the blacks and the greens, everything is joining us. So we need Topi Wallace to be with me to try and clear up our planet. So thank you so much. This is our sign, called the WASSUP sign. So thank you very much. And if you've got any questions, I'm happy to take any questions from anybody. But otherwise, I give the floor to you.
Anybody got any questions, boys? What have we? What's the one thing anybody's learned? Put your hands up. Zaid? You have to recycle. Okay. Beta, you?
We should stop cutting trees.
We should stop cutting trees. Anybody else learned anything else today? Sorry?
I don't think we should stop cutting trees.
Are you going to milk a shelter? There'll be other ways, inshallah. Yes, please.
The earth has one layer, but then it has several layers now because of the carbon dioxide and the other air.
It hasn't got a spike like you and I have got, but the gas makes it warmer. Okay? So the gas makes it warmer. If there's got too many gases there, it is going to be even hotter, isn't it? Yeah?
Young man there, yes?
You just imagine microplastics and the plastic, then heat it, and with the microplastic,
You can make it fall. Yeah?
Mashallah.
Yeah, good. Okay.
Is that young man there? And then I'll continue. Yeah. Okay, mashallah. Beta, please. Landscape? The plants suck in the carbon dioxide, they give us the oxygen. The plants and the trees give us the oxygen. That's why we should cut the trees.
I think this is important. What you say. Well, just for a second. Just for a second. Can I just tell you a thing? See, what we do is we breathe in oxygen, yeah? And we breathe out carbon dioxide. That carbon dioxide is the trees that breathe it. So there's a balance, yeah? So if you look at all of us living in Westmoreland Tower, it's his creation. The way he's working it is that we breathe out carbon dioxide and then take away the carbon dioxide and then they give us fresh oxygen. Right? For us to breathe. Right? Can you imagine how clever nature is? And we are, creating an imbalance. Okay, you're last.
That's why.
When cow pot releases methane.
Okay.
Sorry?
Cows create bad energy.
Yeah. Actually, cows do pass a lot of methane, that's right. That's true. It's good. At least you learn something. Yeah?
MashaAllah. Jazakallah. Okay.
And methane, remember, is 80 times more powerful than carbon dioxide. Or the carbon dioxide is the biggest gas.
So what are we all gonna do when we go back home? We're gonna be living a more greener life, yeah? Yeah. We're gonna walk to masjid, inshallah. Okay, mashallah. Dr. Sab, on
Can I just tell you what you've been absolutely fantastic. Children, you've been absolutely fantastic. So well done. Okay? And if your parents are not here, tell them your parents about it.
Okay. On behalf of the Anjuman, I'd like to thank Dr. Sam for coming. MashaAllah, it's a very interesting talk. Alhamdulillah, inshallah, we can all, from an Islamic perspective as well, we now know it's important for us to live a greener lifestyle from an Islamic perspective. As I said, on behalf of the Anjuman, I'd like to thank Dr. Sam, MashaAllah, and I'd also I'd like to thank everybody who's staying and listening to MashaAllah and for your patience. Jazakallah khair. And those who are listening at home as well, inshallah, Jazakallah khair for that. Also, one quick reminder, tomorrow we have another program in the masjid. We have, give me 1 second. We have a talk on Mujahid Al-Fani by Sheikh Ahmed Sirhindi. He's coming actually, sorry, Sheikh Ahmed Sirhindi. It was the reformer of the second millennium. And that's a talk by Sheikh Mumtaz al-Haq from London. So he's coming all the way from London to give a talk to us. So recommended to brothers and all those at home sisters to listen in tomorrow after Isha Salah. Isha Salah is at 6:30. Jazakallah khair. Right.